mentioned
Hey,
in the
Ron.
comments and
Yes,
then
ma'am.
asked the
Were you planning on going to that central
adding
Maine
people,
business
so,
status talk thing?
I was
so is that gonna go back to the ordinance committee? Can I have that tonight?
I just saw it today.
Free ticket. Wish, I gotta look that up. I love that place. Wish.com.
Wait, that guy, young
I have gotten
basically what
so
they're
much
doing
free
is something
stuff,
that I
but you have to pay the shipping.
Oh, yeah.
But even with the shipping, the things I purchase for my collages, you can't beat it.
for everybody here.
Anything that's made overseas, it's either usually made in China, right, so inexpensive, and she should be careful, because sometimes they say sterling silver and different. Yeah, so she should read the rules or whatever she.
We had a.
She doesn't like
Or anything.
just clothes.
Well,
It's always,
I don't recommend it for Zulu.
I think she wants to.
I'll try to move this now.
I think I've seen a couple others that I do once in a while.
Put it out. No?
Hey, Ron. Ron, how did you put that on my calendar?
I added you to my event and then I sent you over.
I didn't bring it yet, I put it in my calendar. Yeah, when I said yes, and I'm not, you don't bring it over.
Sure, I'll take it right now.
So.
That way it'll give Caleb a couple minutes.
I'm gonna wait
Yeah. So. I have your email address, so I put that in there, it's done, and then when I hit save, it will send you an invite. And as long as your email is linked to your calendar.
Oh, just that top two that you haven't signed yet?
Well,
Here to help.
here you go, Tim. Thank you. Did you get these already?
Yep, I
Okay,
did.
already. Give it a couple more minutes. Caleb.
I know I'm gonna need them. I wrote up the airport permitting and grants and everything, and I'll need her help. This is a crazy.
Oh, yeah. Loaded with all kinds of rules.
Yeah, it's too many rules, and the rules change. Called the FAA. They're very nice, but every time they think they've given us all the rules, they find another one.
Oh, yeah.
And certainly it's not on purpose, it's just that website, it's all these rules.
Karen,
It's crazy.
did you have an opportunity to get me copies of those grant applications that are in the works right now?
I have two of them, but not the hard one.
Okay, that's
And
fine.
we're in the process of.
I just wanna, I mean, I've done grants for the fire department, but.
Yes, and you could do another one if you wanted.
Sure.
We'll set you right up.
Weren't they in our packet a couple weeks ago? Wasn't the applications in the packet a couple weeks ago?
No, just the information.
Oh, not the actual application.
Right, I didn't see the actual.
You've seen the applications at one time.
Yeah, yeah. I think they have them online now. No? If you go online to the program, if you click on the thing, there's the information packet and then there's the application
On the minute.
thing that you can sign to bring it up.
I think she's talking about the actual ones that you wrote.
Oh, that have already been put forward.
Oh, there.
There he is.
The ones that she's
Oh, he's got a
working on
bike.
right
He's
now.
got a bike.
Good, how are you? I'm gonna be the first one to fight my council this year. Oh, thank you.
And I have, and I don't know.
Was this your first bike ride?
No, I've actually been biking a little bit. The kids do. I gotta practice a lot to keep up with my kids. I'm actually starting to exercise just because they're gonna pass me in skiing and everything else here pretty soon.
Right, well. But I didn't. Hi, my daughter.
All right, welcome everyone to the Tuesday, April 2nd, 2019 Pittsfield Town Council meeting. I ask that we all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I would please ask for a moment of silence. Thank you. First item on the agenda this evening is presentations, congratulations, and introductions.
Okay, after the minute.
Oh, after the minutes. You know what? I make you guys a promise. It's July, I'm getting these bifocals done. I apologize. Adoption of the minutes of the regular meeting of March 19th, 2019.
Will we adopt the minutes as presented?
Second?
Moved and seconded. Questions or comments concerning the minutes of the meeting? Councilors.
Yes. Recycle committee meeting. I see that it says April 3rd, which is tomorrow. What's the time? Is there a time?
4 p.m.
4. Okay. Right here.
Where is it?
Be right here. It'd be out back, actually. Out here.
Thank you.
I put some agendas on the table, the same thing.
Thank you.
But that wasn't a correction, right?
It's just a time.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, councilors? Anybody else have any comments, things that need to be changed, or anything on the minutes of the meeting? No? Okay, not hearing any sense, you're ready to vote. All those in favor of the adoption of the minutes of the regular meeting held on March 5th, 2019, please signify by saying aye.
March
Aye.
19th.
March 5th. March,
19th.
mine says something else, but that's okay. March 19th, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, and minutes are adopted as presented. Okay, so next is presentations, congratulations, and introductions. I kind of jumped the gun there.
That's all right. The presentations, congratulations, and introduction font is so large it just stands right up. So your eyes go to it. So the first thing under presentations, congratulations, and introductions is community and economic development activities and events. And the first item we have listed is Pittsfield Community Cleanup Day. That will be on Monday, April 22nd, which is Earth Day. and the schools are amazingly not on school vacation that week, which rarely happens. So this is wonderful, as the schools will be involved. So Monday, April 22nd, 8 a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m., and those times are dependent upon the number of volunteers that are recruited. This event is being organized by the Maine Central Institute Jobs for Maine's graduate students. Second item listed is the 47th Central Maine Egg Festival that is scheduled from Monday, July 8th through Saturday, July 13th. And advertising will be starting in full swing within a couple of weeks. If we start too early, then people sort of zone it out. Fourth annual Maine Cheese Festival will be held on Sunday, September 8th in Manson Park. This is the first time we've hosted this, and that will be wonderful. And then for actual activities, we have a number of business applications are under review. There are some items that hopefully will be going to the planning board for site plan review. And some businesses that hopefully will be going into the local business incubator, which is the former Lancey School, which is a wonderful resource for the town. We do have industrial park lots, which are under review. Of the 4 remaining industrial park lots, we have proposals for 3 of them. The Pittsfield Economic Expansion Corporation has met with the parties that are interested in the lots. One party is agreeable with the pricing, one wanted a price cut. Both proposals seem very interesting. So we have received information back on both proposals. And the meeting has been scheduled for Friday, April 5th. This will be the second time that we meet with the businesses with the PEAK directors, Pittsfield Economic Expansion Corporation. I've met with them before. And we will review the proposals, and the board of directors of PEAK will decide how they'd like to proceed forward. That meeting's at 9 a.m., and that is a confidential meeting because PEAK is a 501c3 set up to meet with the businesses so that their information and their financial statistics are all kept confidential. The directors will also review the results from the request for proposals for video services. And we do have a whole number of new businesses. I've announced those before. Muddy Waters Outpost, and they're getting really involved with the community. I think we'll see them at a lot of events. That's the Wilbanks. They've opened at 107 Waverly Avenue. Central Maine Motors on Main Street. Amanda Shackles on Estelle Street. Central Maine Motors, that's pretty obvious with the business. And Amanda has a photography shop. Hers is called Graceland Photography. Most people are familiar with Susie Morton and her new flower and gift shop. She'll be spending a lot more time there this summer and less time at the pool. So we're making some changes, which should work out fine because she'll be available. Her flower studio is at 117 Somerset Plaza. We got Holly Zabra's Sundew Studio at 113 North Lancey Street, and that's very popular. Dental Lace's new packaging fulfillment center. That is down on Lower Main Street. And I wish I could announce the other items, but we've got to wait for everything to get all put together, which hopefully will be soon. And there were a number of the new meetings that have been scheduled. I'd just like to remind everybody that the Egg Festival Committee meetings are on the second Thursday of each month. In March, the meeting did get moved around because every single person was sick or had other commitment. But the second Thursday of each month, times have been changed to 7 o'clock p.m. and those meetings are here in the council chambers. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. Next is public hearings, old business, of which there are none. And then we can go to council committee reports, finance committee.
So the Finance Committee will be meeting shortly, and all interested councilors are invited to come. We're looking at a variety of dates, and I passed this up this evening. I've talked to our major investment banks and institutions, and they've come up with some preferred dates, times. If those ones don't work, then we'll come up with something that works better for the town. And so most of our monies are invested in 2 facilities, although we do have monies almost everywhere within the community and the surrounding communities, as well as with Androscoggin Bank that's located in Ogden. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. Ordinance Committee.
We have not had a meeting, and I am still working on gathering information, and then we'll probably schedule a meeting soon. Catherine, the ordinance for the Manson Park changes is all set to go because the language was generated by the office, correct?
We can proceed forward with that one for the second meeting in April, in which we can set it to public hearing if the ordinance committee is all set with that.
Okay.
Which I assume.
I think so. I
That
mean,
you
I
are.
didn't think that there was any changes that needed to be made.
Yeah, I did change around some of the language, but it's set up so that the attorney had looked at it, so
Right.
that was exactly what she thought we should do. I had been, just wanted to make sure we didn't have to change any of the other ordinances, and we don't have to.
Well, I didn't hear back from the planning board on the other items that we had sent to them, so, but they hadn't had a meeting yet. I'm guessing they have a meeting coming up next week. So after that, it would probably be more additional changes, but I don't know
Yes.
how many we want to wait and cram into one meeting to have, you know what I mean? We're going to end up with a bunch of items in one public hearing if we put them all together.
I think we can divide them up. Some of them are pretty simple changes, so we'll zip those ones through, because the planning board has a meeting coming up next Monday.
Yeah.
So we'll know prior to the April 16th meeting as to some items if there have some interest. But we can just send the one regarding Manson Park straight to public hearing in order to get that one taken care of as soon as possible.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan. And I'll work on getting the speakers together, and I'll contact the planning board to see what time would be good for that, whether to do it at a planning board meeting or do it here in the council chamber.
Yeah, that's a complicated subject. You wouldn't think so, but it appears to be.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's complicated. And then I guess the other items will come up later on. Okay.
Thank you. Recycling Committee will meet tomorrow, like I said, at 4 p.m. We're going to do an update on where we are, and also the main theme, of course, is Earth Day, how we can help out with the town project of cleanup. And I am going to, I've got to work the night before, but I'm going to stay up and do it because I should do it, and hopefully that'll be very successful. And that's all I have on the Recycling Committee. Next would be we'll go to the other committees, and I'll start with Heather. Do you communication?
Yep. Howie and I met for Media and Communications Committee on March 28th here in the council chambers, but apparently we did not record it correctly, so there was just a gray blank screen. We'll have to work on that. So we basically had 2 basic items that we talked about. We talked about something that came up at council meeting here was for committee operations, whether there should be standardized meeting schedules, publications, and we had some recommendations of that. We conducted a review of the town boards, committees, and trustees that are listed in the town code, and they're also listed on the website, more of an abbreviated version on the website. Some of the committees have rules set forth about their meeting frequency, times, and place, and others do not. And so the committee recommended the following guidelines for the council to consider. That committees should have a set schedule of meeting times to facilitate meeting attendance for members and for the public. If there's no business to conduct, then obviously the meeting can be removed from the schedule. Agendas for meetings should be submitted at least 4 business days before a scheduled meeting, which is the same guidelines as for the town council. Minutes of meetings should be submitted to the town clerk. Minutes should reflect the attendees, actions taken or actions that need to be taken, referrals to other committees or back to the town council. A master calendar should be maintained in the town office and be incorporated into the town website in order to inform the public of committee meetings that are coming up. And that committee meetings should be in the council chambers to utilize the town hall stream service to better inform the public of business being conducted. The committee recommends that the following committees be exempt due to the nature of their business, which may involve either personnel matters or personal financial matters for those that have business with the committee, and that would be the Fair Hearing Committee, the Housing Rehab Revolving Loan Committee Fund, the Police and Labor Negotiating Committee, the Personnel Appeals Board, and the Library Trustee Committee. And the Library Trustee Committee, we just figured they have a dedicated space to be able to meet, and they're always really good about submitting reports to the council, so the council is well informed, and it's a matter of public record what they're talking about. So those were our recommendations on that. And also, the committee recognized that we have two committees, the Community Development Advisory Committee and the Economic Development Committee team, that are not currently active, and we recommended that the council reactivate these committees. And I know, Catherine, you had mentioned before about how Peak is serving some of those functions, but we felt that there was a wider role that they could serve within the community, and maybe that there would be a way for them to be combined. We also, Councilor Billings had a suggestion to adjust committee structure and add seats for committee residents to hold, and that discussion item was tabled. Michael was unable to attend, but he did supply us with the Google Analytics for the town website. There'd been over 1,900 page visits that week alone, and so we thought it would be a good idea to review the data every quarter. And so we just finished up the first quarter, so it'd be good to have like a snapshot of like the first quarter of the year, and see how that changes. And we did have a question as to whether the town can access the theater website to acquire analytics for that as well. And so that was a question that we had for either Michael or for Ann, as far as being able to incorporate that information into the website information as well.
Yeah, I would have to contact Jen and see if she has it set up.
Mm-hmm. And then under new business, it was something that came up as we were going through our discussions in the committee, that being Howie and I, discussed having the town council really clarify what they want the committee to accomplish. There were a couple items that were put on the agenda that were later removed because council members and town office didn't feel that they were to be addressed by the Media and Communications Committee, but they were things that we had discussed within council discussions and said, yeah, the Communications Committee should look at those things and then bring ideas to the council. And so we were a little confused about that. So I guess at some point we need to have a discussion about where this committee needs to go, because it's more than just, it started out as like the SVTV project, and we wanted to broaden that because we saw a need for other communication type issues within the town. So at some point we need to put that on as a discussion item to have a broader conversation about that. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Heather. Howard, anything on the bicentennial?
Just a couple of things. The headquarters, which is storefront next to Stan's Barbershop, had their first day be open last Wednesday, and they're going to be open every Wednesday at least from now on, at least probably into the fall, as long as Stan doesn't have a paying tenant. And it's open 11:30 to 1:30, and we're selling memorabilia, which includes T-shirts, etc., license plates. We have coins now. We have pins, I think, as well, or will have them. And I think that they'll be available there, and they're also advertised on the Bicentennial Committee website on Facebook, as well as on Heart of Pittsfield. So right for now, we're going to have that open on Wednesdays from 11:30 to 1:30. We'll probably expand it as we get to the summer with more activities. And, you know, if anybody has a question or any citizens have a question, they can certainly contact, you know, myself or one of the other members of the executive committee, and we can hopefully point you in the right direction. With respect to activities, as Catherine mentioned, we have Earth Day coming up. It's kind of co-sponsored by the Bicentennial Group as well as SVH and the students at MCI. And I think they've, as we mentioned last time, we had a presentation. They've done a real excellent job of organizing this. And it's going to be from 8 to 2. Headquarters for the cleanup is going to be Heffron Park. And if folks want to show up and volunteer, anytime, you know, starting at 8 o'clock or before, to kind of figure out where we're going, where we go from there. You know, bring your gloves and a, what else do we have to bring? Shovel or whatever you might need to help with the cleanup. I think that, you know, if you have any questions on that, either contact the town office or members of the Bicentennial Committee. We can hopefully give you an answer with that. Also, that's on April 22nd. And the art show, sponsored by the Arts Group, is going to be at the Universalist Meeting House. And that's going to be on Friday, Saturday, and I think Sunday as well, April 26th, 7th, and 8th. You know, we'll have posters like we are doing for all events around town and at the headquarters. So you know the exact hours of it as well. I think that the attendance really should be great for that. There's a lot of interest, and I think there'll be some excellent artwork on display. So those are the two things that are certainly coming up this month, and as we move further on, we'll keep you apprised of others. That's it.
Thank you, Howard.
Yep.
Next is Theater Committee. Ann.
Hi, Ann Matthews. Unfortunately, I got an email this afternoon, and we did not get our order and the supporting information in on time to be on the agenda for tonight, which is disappointing. We've been working hard. We would like to ask the council if they would consider having a special meeting to discuss the future of the theater. So would you be willing to have a special meeting so we can all try to get on, hopefully, the same page and try to figure out the future of the theater?
Can we dedicate an hour to it at the next meeting so that you have dedicated time? Would that help?
I think it would. I think it would.
How do you feel about that,
Specific
Councilors?
agenda that you would like us to hear?
We have several different questions. We have different scenarios that we would like to present to you. We also want individual opinions. I also want to thank Councilor Billings for coming to our last meeting, and it was very much appreciated, Deb. We appreciate you showing interest and trying to guide us a little bit. It was great help. Thank you. Thank you. So can we set the time aside this next?
You, councilors, would you have any objections if we dedicated 1 hour to that at the next meeting? I have no objection to that.
I would be more inclined to have a special meeting, so it's just that's all we're going to talk about.
I would agree.
I think that it's a pretty weighty issue, and I'd rather not have it be, cluttered with all the other miscellaneous things that we need to do within the meeting, and be able to just focus on that one thing.
I agree.
That either way is fine. Is it something that needs to be done, like, is it timely manner, or
Yes.
2 weeks from now?
Yes.
Well, you know, tick tock, time's running out, so.
I mean,
So, next week or something?
I'm okay either way, but I'd certainly like to have, you know, background information, your potential scenarios, and exactly what you want to discuss, an agenda if we're gonna have a special meeting. You know, either way, whether we have a special meeting or whether we do it as part of a regular council meeting. Heaven knows, you know, we've been here late at night, so that's,
It's one more time, right?
one more time, you know,
Well, it's up to you folks, but we would like to talk to you as a group, and our group get together with you folks and figure out the future, what we all see.
So do you have everything together right now? I mean, other than the fact that you just missed the council meeting deadline?
Well, we had it all together to go in the packet. I mean, we kind of do, but we're not 100% sure. We have a projected like interim budget and where it has changed from the information we already gave you. Everything is still based on the information that was already presented to the council as far as the revenue streams and the scenarios. We have potential job descriptions done. We have sample scheduling done. We have a modified budget. Kind of done. I would call it a work in progress on the budget. You know, we tried to get together everything you were looking for to support the order that we got ready to put on the agenda. Just our meeting was that night, and Wednesday's the cutoff.
So you missed the cutoff time because your meeting to get everything ready was after, like hours after it needed to be submitted.
Yep, and we got the order together and voted on it with assurance we would be on the agenda.
So I
That's okay,
received the information, or at least the order, on Saturday. So, you know, people had checked to see if I'd come in. So
So you guys voted on Wednesday, but we didn't get it till Saturday.
Right, but then again, it does take
These
people a
emails.
while to do things. So the filing deadline for the April 16th meeting is the 10th, and if I had gotten the package of information that night, like Deb had said, you know, I would have put it on.
So,
Well, so the question is,
Yeah.
do we have a special meeting before the 10th?
And do we have the information? Because people will want a few days to look it over.
I don't mind having a special meeting, but like this council meeting is pretty light. There's not a lot of stuff on this council meeting. This would have been a great one. I don't know what the next council meeting is like. It's going to be fairly light like this. If it's going to be, there's not a real lot on this agenda. If the next meeting is going to be like this, I'd just soon have it at a regular town council meeting. But that's just me because I'm a lot, family and business.
Yeah.
So to crowd out another night isn't terrible, but it would be.
my biggest problem is I've got the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, and the 11th, I'm working from 3 to 11. So I'm not going to be home. I'll try to do the best I can, but.
Well, I think you need to be there, so
Well,
why don't we?
Well, Monday's out, that's the planning board meeting. Personally, Tuesday, I have a other town meeting I need to attend, so I wouldn't be able to make Monday or Tuesday. So you said
Well,
8th, 9th,
then-
and 10th?
So that's 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, I'm working 3 to 11.
Okay.
So now we're
Can I
13.
make a proposal then?
Sure.
That the next meeting, which is April 16th,
Mhm.
be as short as absolutely possible, and set aside the remainder of the time, 1 hour, to discuss the materials that's presented. But we'd have to have those materials to look them over before that.
Right, we have them all in an
With that-
email to send you.
But, okay,
Okay.
so you're all set to send us that stuff? Awesome.
I'm not the one that'll be doing the sending, but yes, in theory, it is all compiled and together, and I just,
Okay, so if you get it to us, we can review it, and then we can discuss it on the 16th. Is that okay?
What we could do is, if we're having a short meeting, just go right down through quickly, put you on the last of it, and just hammer and get all this done, and you'd be if you put it the last one, it's gonna get finished before we leave here, that's the thing. That's all I'm saying, you know what I mean?
I think that'll be fine. You should have, there are some items already submitted for the next council meeting on the 16th, but one of them is, they're both short items. One is an ordinance as one of the tax acquired properties in which somebody resides at the property has paid it off in the appropriate time frame, so that's really good. And we also will be addressing the Spirit of America Award, so we have Tom Brown coming in for that meeting, but Tom doesn't want any big fanfare, so that will be short and to the point.
Okay.
He's shy.
Yeah, he is.
Does that sound okay with you, Heather? I mean, I agree with you that it is a really important issue. And I
I
don't want to
think-
shortchange it.
I think we need as many of us here as possible too.
I think it's
And
going to be
if-
more than 1 hour.
If
Yeah.
it's,
It's gonna be more than an hour,
Yes.
I think.
if we can
And-
keep it to an hour and we haven't addressed everything, then it goes on to the next agenda. But, I mean, I think that they really have, what they're proposing is pretty simple.
Well, I don't think we can split it into another agenda if they're looking to
No,
have an order
you know,
passed
then
in
we're
order
dragging
to
it out
change.
even more. We're gonna wait another 2 weeks, which is acceptable, but,
Let's,
time's of the essence here.
why don't we,
Every day we're spending money there
why
that,
don't we plan on, if everybody's in agreement, why don't we plan on doing that at the next council meeting, which is the 16th,
Which we
and
could
we'll
have
buzz
done
through
this
the
council
first
meeting
one,
if we
and
wanted to.
we'll try to make sure that everybody's out of here by no later than 11 o'clock. Is that a good deal?
No,
Some of us
No,
may not.
It may be sooner.
That's
The sooner the
unacceptable.
better, as long as we get everything done.
Some people
no.
here are
I'm
able
just,
to do that.
however we can. I'd like to get it done by 9, but,
That's,
you know,
I
that's,
think,
I think we can get
that's
it done.
sufficient by
We set
9
a
o'clock.
time limit.
If-
Okay, I'm good with
because
9.
I'm not staying till 11 o'clock.
Well, we can take a picture of it and put it there, how's that?
That's fine.
Yes.
Like Debbie. Good job, Debbie. You tell.
No, I agree. We'll,
No,
we'll,
I just can't, I don't think.
I can't
it's
imagine
appropriate.
it would be as that much of a problem. I think, like you said, I think it's fairly simple. We'll get through it all right.
So-
Yes.
This is totally off the subject. I was just asking Howie, you're not being broadcast into town. Mike,
I'm sorry, what?
it's not working.
Oh, wow, that's too bad.
Oh,
The video is not working.
I'm sorry.
So,
Do you want to take like a 5-minute break while Mike goes and figures out?
Sure.
sure,
Sure.
yeah, definitely.
so we're on
that-
the agenda for next,
Yes,
But we still need to, now, if we submit the order in the packet to you, Catherine,
Yes,
you will
please.
distribute that to the.
Yes,
Is
it'll be
that
part
what
of
I'm-
their
great.
council package.
Perfect.
to take, yeah.
Okay.
And then we put it online.
thank you.
The lights are on.
Lights on. Camera.
The lights start. The lights came on, I'm like, okay, we can have everything.
That sounds all right.
Could you figure out what to do?
Yeah, that should be fine, and we should have a time frame.
I was kidding about that.
Yeah,
That was a joke.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Debbie didn't think it was very funny.
I know. It's like making iceberg jokes about Titanic sinking. You know
I
what
slept on the couch for a week.
the first two
One.
meetings that I came to, the first one was, I got home at 1 o'clock, actually it was 1:15. The next one was 11:30.
I see no reason why we can't be here by 2 o'clock. I think we can.
As long as we.
We'll give them enough time.
As long as we can move through the other stuff.
Yeah, I bet by 7:30.
It's the next meeting after that.
Yeah, the next meeting after that would be May 7th. So this is the actual.
So, okay, May 7th, you said.
This is one of those months that I really like in the office because we get an extra week where we can work on it.
Sounds good.
That's what I've been doing since pricing should be, they know that.
It's supposed to snow certain times of the day tomorrow. And then next week it's supposed to be in the 50s. According to, at least that's the last.
The gravel roads are not like.
She's saying goodbye.
Oh, hi, where's she at?
Nice seeing you.
Thank you.
But they're
Okay.
So, now you should reach out to 216, so they only have like 2 months to turn this over.
Don't take one of those.
I'm telling you right now, I need more glasses. That's 3 times I've done that. I didn't even see
Well, it's
that.
because the formatting is so large, so maybe I should make the minutes. We'll have Michael make the minutes get big and then we'll see it.
It's, yeah, I don't know. I really think it's supposed to be less than that. These guys are just-
Because they have several things.
Yeah, you buy photos and they, when you step out, you know, documents, you such a. $650, that was last year. I don't know what they'll do this year. That's not counting, that's not counting eye exam, it's just the glasses and the lenses. Because I'm very anxious, I have that problem.
So when you have
It covered the examination and it covered part of the frames that we paid $900 something. Oh, yeah. I paid $650 on my father. No. I'm trying to wait till July. See if it's any better. I'm trying to hold off till July.
Yeah, right now, I can't.
I mean, I get eventually.
Well,
Well, I have a little one or two.
Well, Mike, what do you think?
Great idea.
He's not quite.
Give it about 2 more minutes.
Yeah. We don't. Maybe we could.
Because first you gotta go with Yeah, we can keep proceeding. She doesn't want any exams. She's telling me that she's more qualified. I'm like, no, it's you. We choose you.
He's a nice guy, he's done a
He's
lot.
so nice.
He's done a lot. He's got the ass. I mean. As soon as Mike gets back, everything goes over.
Well, that's what happened the other night. I flipped everything on and stuff, and then I got home and my husband's like, and Howie and I sat here and we just sat here and we're like, okay, we're gonna sit and wait for the lights to come on. And then when it came on, we had our meeting, and we shut everything off, and I got home and my husband's like, oh, there was just a gray screen.
It works good before.
Yeah.
That was great.
Well. Murphy's Law.
So it's worked good today. So
One of my 2 cars.
So how's Boston doing? Hector, hopefully you're not stuck on the gravel roads.
Shortage of work.
Yeah.
No
Don't
shortage.
have to worry about unemployment right now. I took 3 weeks.
Yeah, what do you think I'm gonna do?
I got busy. Now I gotta catch up.
Yeah, it wasn't that.
It'll happen again next one. Now I'm just doing
Well, that's just when he called.
once in a while. I gotta do
He's like, no, you're not gonna drive across the field.
I mean, I'm just trying
He loaded up the truck. On Tuesday morning, I went like 10 miles down the road, going right all the way over. He loads it up, then I have to go.
Yeah, more money really it is. You figure you're flying out.
Well, that's the thing, that's the thing. And in the winter, that's when we have to go to church. In the summertime, like a bag of change, a bag from the house, one bag from the house, you know, and then it just needs to be.
I ordered a whole truckload of dumpsters and instead of white roads. I usually have a guy that's sent out.
Well, that's when we got was that they're like, okay, we gotta make it, we'll be up there on Friday, and it was like spanking new and on the scratch on it.
10 years ago, you could find anything out. Excuse me.
If you could find drivers.
Luckily, the guy that
Looks like the issues on their end. As I get that, can't go meeting and reissue that.
Thank you. All right, folks, it seems like the issue's on their end, so there's not much else we can do. Everybody's working on this end, so we'll get back and we'll resume where we left off. Okay, so we're all set. Ann, did you have anything else? Well, I didn't want to cut you off.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so then we'll go to town manager report.
All right, very good. We'll zip right along here. Several items. Number one, in recognition of Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month, there'll be children's events at the Pittsfield Public Library on Thursday, April 18th at 10:30 a.m. There will be playtime, structured activity, delicious snacks, and meeting our emergency services. So the police department, the fire department, and Sebasticook, which is now Northern Lights Ambulance Service, have always participated in this event since KBCAP has put it together. So KBCAP and the public library will be hosting the event and organizing it. And so that again will be Thursday, April 18th. And that's been for several years, and that's a great activity for the children to learn. Second, Vaughn Woodworth's company, which is now employee-owned, in-source co-op celebration will take place this Thursday. So Thursday evening, in-source, which has a new name, is hosting an event at the theater focused on rural economic development and the cooperative economy as part of their celebration of converting to a co-op. They'd love to have everyone And due to capacity, they are asking people to reserve their tickets free through an online event page. And they're still known as DVA and Source Renewables. They have completed their conversion to a worker cooperative after a decade of work in renewable energy and 2 years of work by their staff to develop the cooperative. They are celebrating with friends, colleagues, and the community on April 4th, which is this Thursday, at 6:30 p.m. at the Pittsfield Community Theater. The celebration event will feature local, state, and national speakers who will shed some light on worker ownership, rural economic development, and the role of renewable energy in Maine's economy. They'll also be showing a documentary, We the Owners, which details the power of worker ownership in enacting responsible capitalism. So they have speakers from the president of Elliotsville Plantation, executive director of Grove Smart Maine, executive director of the Democracy at Work Institute, and director of business ownership services at the Cooperative Development Institute. This sounds quite interesting, so if anyone is interested, please contact Ron. Number 3, 10 years in the making at the Pittsfield Community Theater, Riff Live, which is Riff Johnson, will be holding Riff L-Y-F-E. He's always so creative. This is a deep, heartfelt look into the life, the fun, the scary, the positive, the real, the mindset, the Riff life. www.riffjohnson.com, and that will be on Saturday, April 27th. The show starts at 7 p.m. at the Pittsfield Community Theater. Number 4, we have Weston Donner Super Show. This is a magic show that will be held on Saturday, April 6th, 2019 at 2:00 p.m. It will be at the Warsaw Middle School Gymnasium. The cost is $6 each, or $20 per family. Tickets can be purchased at the door or ahead of time at Copper Saloon, Pop-On-Overs, and Butts Shop and Save. The proceeds will benefit the MSAD 53 Elementary PTO. And last item, number 5, Somerset County Budget Public Hearing. The Somerset County Budget Public Hearing will be held on Wednesday, April 3rd, so that's tomorrow evening at 6:00 p.m. in the Superior Court Room at 41 Court Street in Skowhegan. The county budget, the county has done very, very well. The county budget for 2018 was $590,566.11 for our assessment. The 2019 assessment is $592,928.10. So an increase in the county budget of $2,362, or a 0.4%, so 0.4%. So that was very good. So again, that hearing is tomorrow night at the Superior Court Room for Somerset County, April 3rd, 6 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. Next is new business.
Order 19-05. Order that the town council approve amendments to the recreation programming swimming program fees on the town of Pittsfield fee schedule.
For motion from the council.
Move we adopt order 19-05.
Second. Moved and seconded. Questions or comments, councilors, concerning this order?
It was proposed from the staff at the recreation swimming pool. Specifically, Devin Barney spent a lot of time putting this together. He created some charts. These swimming lessons would go up $5 per child for the 4-week activity. So the child swimming lessons are now $25 per child for a resident and $30 non-resident. It would go to $30 per child for resident, $35 non-resident. The family plan, which is 3 children or more, was $75 resident, $90 non-resident. That would go up $5 to $80 resident, $95 non-resident, and that's for 3 children or more. So basically a $5 increase in all swimming lessons for that 4-week period. There is a non-resident swimming rate per day, and it's proposed by the staff that there be an open swim fee in which there would be a resident family rate for the whole summer of $10 per family, non-resident family rate of $20 per family. And so this would end up being a book or a coupon that would be given out, and if this was approved, the recreation staff would be tasked with coming up with a system that will work in case somebody lost their little pass or
Or if they just had a book,
pardon me?
if they just had a book.
They could have a book, we'll give
Yeah, they'll
give
be
them
the
the
people that
authority
pay.
to figure that out. Yes.
I think he did a great job.
Put a lot of time into that. Questions or comments, councilors, concerning this order? Any other questions? No? Anybody in the audience have any questions concerning this order? Yes.
I'm just curious, what is the additional funds going to go to?
Recreational.
We go into the recreation budget, wouldn't it?
Going to the pool
It would
budget.
go into the recreation revenues. So each of the departments is tasked with coming up with revenues. The library has revenues, the theater has revenues, the recreation department has revenues. So it would go to the regular revenues, which then help to lower the amount of taxation each year. So basically we have many revenue sources, most of which is taxation. So we try to come up with other sources of revenue.
Yeah, in the letter from Devin, he which is posted on the website too, by the way, just so you remember, because that's something fairly new. He makes it clear that this money would go towards the swimming pool budget to help lower the cost to the town, because the swimming pool does cost the town. It doesn't generate enough income to offset the complete cost of it. So, yeah. Which there are a lot of things like that, like a library, and we choose to. They're not huge losses, but I mean that's what this is going towards. So.
But ultimately, it does not stay in that swimming pool fund. It goes to general fund.
Correct.
Everything goes to
Correct. The library
Recreation
doesn't, the
fund.
theater doesn't,
Yeah.
none of the
But
services do.
It'll back in the budget. I would assume that you're going to see this offset that line in the budget. So when you look at it, you'll see pool revenue versus
Right, it'll say recreation, pool, recreation, fees.
All right, any other questions, councilors from the, no, you have, anybody in the audience have any questions concerning this order? Anybody else? No? Okay, not hearing any, I sent you ready to vote. All those in favor of order 19-05, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, and that order passes.
Resolution 19-28, resolved that the town council approve a new special amusement permit for Muddy Waters Outpost at 107 Waverly Avenue, Pittsfield, Maine, 04967.
I'll look for a motion from the council.
Move we drop resolution 19-28.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions or comments, councilors, concerning this resolution?
How is it that their business falls under a special amusement? I mean, how is that considered a special amusement?
I didn't personally think it did, but the town clerk did, so they applied for a special amusement permit.
They're just renting.
They're going to be playing the guitar.
There may be some music, it's gonna be outside.
Oh, okay.
There's a variety of things going on.
They've already applied for that. I think it's kind of, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I didn't think it rose to that level either, but, you know, that's just me.
I think the town clerk said it was the details on the activities outside, and it's really expected that they'll expand upon this, so this will give them a permit for different activities, different types of music, which is not a show.
Right.
Right, because we're not, is that zoned for that? If they wanted to grow into something like that, would they do it at that location?
There might be a different type of permit that would be needed.
Okay, just curious, that's all.
And he's doing more than kayak. I mean, it says a type of business, kayak rental. He's doing more than that, right? When I talked to him, I thought he was doing a restaurant and
Yeah, I thought there was some food involved.
Food and stuff.
Just like a little casual place. for
yeah,
people
like
to
a
eat.
cafe. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I just was curious.
Okay, any other questions, councilors, concerning this? No? Okay, anyone in the audience wish to comment on this? Yes. Please state your name.
Becky Thompson.
Okay.
I'm kind of curious about the things that Muddy Waters is planning to sell. I'm just curious if down the road they're planning to sell marijuana. I'm not really sure why I think that, but I'm just asking if someone were to come in with a business permit, could they expand to something like that?
No.
Not in our case because of our ordinances.
Because of what?
Our ordinances.
Not legally anyway.
Yes, yes. We've already had to talk to a few people about things, and the marijuana went away.
You think?
We have an ordinance that.
Yeah.
It went
away from
someplace
street signs
The
anyway.
sign
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
say
That was quite a sign. Okay, any other questions, audience, concerning, excuse me, concerning this resolution? No? Okay, not hearing any, since you're ready to vote, councilors. All those in favor of resolution 19-28, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, and that resolution passes as well.
Resolution 19-29, resolved that the town council approve the renewal of the alcoholic beverage license for the Broken Putter Restaurant and Lounge at 382 Heartland Ave, Pittsfield, Maine, 04967.
Look for motion.
Move we adopt resolution 19-29.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions or comments, councilors, concerning this resolution?
These are annual
Annual.
permits every year.
Any questions? Need a minute? Any other questions concerning this?
Yeah.
All set? Audience, anyone in the audience have any questions or comments concerning this resolution? No? Okay, not hearing any, I sense you're ready to vote, councilors. All those in favor of resolution 19-29, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, and that resolution passes.
Resolution 19-30, resolved that the town council approve the renewal of the special amusement permit for the Broken Putter Restaurant and Lounge at 382 Heartland Avenue, Pittsfield, Maine, 04967.
Look for motion.
Move we adopt resolution 19-30.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions or comments, councilors? Annual thing again. Annual thing. Any questions, councilors, concerning this? Okay. Audience, any questions from the audience concerning this resolution? Yes, please state your name, please.
My name is Jim Chinquette, and so this is a special amusement permit that you just approved for the Muddy Waters Outpost. You got a special permit for the Broken Putter, and it doesn't seem to be the same thing because they have, if I'm not mistaken, don't they have musical bands up there and entertainment up there? But you're approving the same resolution, and you're saying the Muddy Waters can't do it, but the Broken Putter can?
Well, they did get approved for it, but they stated on their application, no shows or bands.
So they put it on the permit that no shows are gonna be
They put it on their application.
on their application, okay.
Just says
So if they wanted to have live bands, they're gonna have to apply for
Come
what
back
now?
and apply.
Yeah.
Right.
Or apply for
Or
what?
amend their.
Amend
Amend.
for a special
Amend it?
amusement.
Okay, all right.
Well, do they, if it's a special amusement?
Their application states a certain language, so that's what we're approving it for. We wouldn't charge them a fee, we would just have to amend it and find out what they're doing. They also have a smaller lot in which, you know, there may be some
And a
questions
residence.
about neighbors close by. and
Right.
everything.
I mean, they put right on the application.
They did, I think it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that they even said that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else in the audience have a question concerning this resolution? No? Okay, now here again, I sense you ready to vote. All those in favor of resolution 19-30, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, and that resolution passes.
Resolution 19-31, resolve that the town council sign the application for catered function by qualified catering organization for the annual chamber dinner to be held on April 18th, 2019, from 4:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. at Maine Central Institute by qualified caterer Jeff's Catering and Bake Shop.
Look for a motion from the council.
Move we adopt resolution 19-31.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions or comments, councilors?
A requirement of the state law that the councilors, municipal officers have to sign off on the qualified catering organization. We did try to have it done by the staff, so you wouldn't have a housekeeping item, but it does require a municipal officer.
Okay. Questions, councilors? Okay, audience, any questions concerning this resolution? No questions? No comments. Okay. All right, councilors, I sent you ready to vote. All those in favor of resolution 19-31, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, and that resolution passes as well. Next is discussion items.
All right, several items under discussion items. Number one, Pittsfield Economic Expansion Corporation, PEAC, on request for proposals for video production services to promote the town. The request for proposals are due tomorrow, Wednesday morning, April 3rd. People wanted more time, so we did allow more time for the responders. Michael sent out 13 proposals, and then I think there was some inquiries after that. A couple of them came back because their addresses had changed. So we'll see what we get tomorrow, and then that will be available to the councilors to look at, as well as available for the PEAC meeting on Friday. Number two, the Maine Town, City, and County Management Association interchange. This was promoting civil discussions. So Michael and I attended that so we could, one, get the information. Two, I thought it would be nice for Michael to go to an event for management. Three, I needed a ride. So this all worked out well, because I'm not supposed to be driving. So we attended that interchange. It did have a lower attendance than usual. However, there were a lot more department heads and administrative assistants there. So we got to meet a lot of people. Speakers were excellent. While we and many others concluded we didn't learn anything new, such as how to help others be more civil, we did find we're doing all the right things and saying all the right items. Holly, our librarian, did speak with one of the speakers, which is the main group, and is scheduling a date and time for Michael, the speaker, to come to town free of charge, and he will hold a 1 to 2 hour session. And there'll be invitations going out from Holly, and the public will be welcome. So that'll be interesting. And one of the councilors did ask for a copy of the package of materials, so we got an extra copy of the materials, and then found out the extra ones that are out on the table didn't have half of the pamphlets in it. So luckily I had checked that, so we made sure we had the correct handouts in there. Number three, airport permits for future development. So I'm glad Caleb is here, as the hangar project has been a long time in coming and been a very complicated process. So what we have learned in our journey to obtain a hangar is that we do have another step that has been successfully completed with the filing of the site location development permit for the airport, and that is a 316-page document, which was a good read, but not something I did want to read. We had the Maine construction permit was filed. Both of those were filed with the Maine Department of Environmental Protection. And we had to do the big site location permit. That's a permit that you would need to get like for the industrial park expansion, which we got back in the 80s and had to follow strictly when we built it out in the 2000s. And got for the original industrial park and for other big developments. And so that was filed on Friday. We had thought that we could use some of the old pavement that's on the old runway that was put down in the 1970s. However, we were told that would not help our application, and in fact, we're going to have to do an amendment if the Vacation Land skydiving goes ahead with their expansion project. because we would need to put parking and tree cutting and a variety of things into the site location development permit. And so since that information all came together and the pavement wasn't going to help anyway, that will all have to be done at a later date. So the pavement can help out with one of the next phases, we learned. So that pavement can help with mitigation. So basically the old closed runway is over by Peltoma Avenue, and there is a entrance which is gated that comes off Peltoma Avenue, which accesses the old runway and has been utilized when events such as airport fly-ins take place, and that's where we have everybody park, and then we move them over by little buses to the actual airport by going down Harrison Street. So there's a variety of permits beyond this that will have to take place. We have found the first grant application, a project totaling $144,000, 90% of which is covered by the state and federal government, and then the town has the remainder. So we're working with Vacationland Skydiving, which has an expansion project. I met with them recently. Caleb was there. It's a wonderful project. It will have some enhancements with a new setup, but there are some obstacles. We have to figure out a number of things on digging up and paying for the pavement to be removed from part of the closed runway, and how that would work with parking and snow removal and everything. So there has to be more discussion there. There'll be engineering and permitting with that. The parking and the tree cutting that's going to take place has to, or at least the parking. I was told the tree cutting, but I thought people could cut the trees as needed on their own property, and I think that they can. There will be a site plan review needed at the planning board. The project, because it is viewed as a commercial one, regardless of being a small one, with their purchasing a small building on Peltoma Avenue, and then accessing by the gated second exit entrance over to the closed runway. So there's a variety of steps that would be needed. It does fall into MUBEC, unfortunately. So the talks are moving along, but there's several things we have to figure out how this is all going to flow together. Although in the end, it would be better to have them located over in that area versus all of this moving around on the airport proper and the apron and everything, and giving them more room to expand their operation. But it's all a discussion topic at this point. Our airport permit that we needed to get in by the end of last week did go in on time and is under review by DEP. So if that went in on time, we should be able to have projects that have been scheduled for a while, which involve hangars, which are not the town's hangar, but other hangars will be able to go forward later this summer. Number 4, Bike Main Community Grant Opportunity. So we did put together a grant opportunity. This is a very small grant availability of $15,000 for a variety of projects. So because we don't have the ability to state that we will put a bike lane on all the state roads, which we'd like to do, I applied for bike racks, because our bike racks, with the exception of one, are very old, and one has been stolen from another location. And so we did apply for 5 bike racks at strategic locations in the community. The first one being at Somerset Plaza Town Industrial Park, and so that would be worked out, if approved, at a location which would work out for everyone. Second, at Hawthorne Park, because we'll have more activities there, so we could use another bike rack. We have a tiny one that Healthy SB had donated to us, which was great, back in the early 2000s. Third one is the downtown pedestrian walkway from the municipal building, fire, police station to Main Street. The facilities there, as part of the Main Street project, would be updated through donations and grants, and so we'll try that. And the last one would be at Manson Park, which is our massive acre park that we're so fortunate to have. So we asked for 2 bike racks there. Now, I was told that they prefer to have, projects that involve other things than bike racks, but for us, because of the access and the roads that are involved, we just don't have the authority to state that we'll put a bike lane down. We tried to do that on Somerset Avenue, and that was several years ago, and that did not work out with the state. But perhaps as part of the Main Street project, we've already asked for that. And in terms of the Main Street project, the surveyors hope to be out on April 15th or thereabouts, so that would be very good. Last item is Project Canopy grant opportunity. That has not been started yet, although we have gathered all the necessary materials. The application is due next week. Teaching somebody to write a grant, so we'll be working away on this, but looking at other priorities. And so I should also state that we do have a position open with the town. Regretfully, Karen has resigned her position of finance clerk with the town effective next week. So we're working away on audit items, as that position is very strategic for the audit. We've done a lot of work done today. For workflow, we do have some redundancies, so that is helpful. And several of us can post the expense warrants, perhaps not as good as Karen can, but we can do it. The position's been forwarded to the employment agency. That tells me they have some candidates to review shortly. Sent to the Bangor Daily News for the online services because that seems more applicable. And then we'll post it on a number of free websites on Wednesday. So basically, financial clerks are responsible for, well, lots of things. Processing accounts payable, receivables, record keeping, bookkeeping, minor bookkeeping, utility billing, reception work, motor vehicle registration, issuing permits and licensing, filing, and processing all payments. The pay is $16.35 to $17.01 per hour. Comprehensive benefit package available, and will accept applications until the position is filled. So I did accept that regretfully. And so packages are available at the town office. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. Next is reports, audience, and I will start with the audience. Anybody in the audience wish to speak this evening? Anyone at all? Yes, sir. Please state your name.
Ron Watson, Eastfield resident. So I don't have a ton. I do have a question regarding something, Catherine, that you said earlier regarding the Finance Committee meeting. You said that any interested counselors are able to attend. Is that also open to the public?
Oh, sure.
Okay,
Yes.
I
have just, some of the councils want to be on the Finance Committee too, so that's why I wrote it that way.
Got it. Thank you. I thought so. I just wanted to make sure I understood.
Yes, you can come right over. We'll expect you.
Well, I'll check my schedule. Councilor Donahue, you were talking earlier about the media and communications and possibly reviewing that and seeing, what the role of that was. And I would suggest that maybe the ordinance committee consider recommending that the media and communications committee become a normal council committee as opposed to an ad hoc committee, specifically because ad hoc committees should be convened for a specific purpose and then have a specific endpoint. And it seems to me that the Media and Communications Committee should be more of a permanent fixture within the town government. So that might be something to consider as well. And then lastly, I just have a question, and I don't really know that there's an answer for this, it's more of a rhetorical, but if anybody does have any thoughts, I welcome them. I'm wondering, in terms of state governance, and the decisions that the state makes with regards to municipalities, do we have anybody from our town that goes down as a representative to advocate or to discuss or to contribute to that decision-making process other than our local representative? Not that he doesn't do a fantastic job, because he does, but from the town government, do we have a voice at the table? For instance, if we wanted to put a bike lane on a state street, or if we wanted to address budget cuts that affect the municipality that significantly affect our budget, who goes down and talks to the state about that?
We can go down to the state for hearings every day, and that can be a frustrating experience. We have gone down and met with different departments on projects.
Okay.
So definitely that has been done. We've been invited down after we've sent letters to different departments, because that's how you get attention.
Okay.
Yes, so we can go down and meet with state government.
Okay. And is there a specific person within the town government that does that? Or is that their responsibility, or is that just sort of who's available, or when they're available, or?
No, in the past, it's been the mayor.
Okay.
It's been myself. Once it was a committee,
Okay.
several people. Once it was highway. It depends on the topic.
Okay, so special skills and knowledge.
Yes,
Got it.
exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron.
Absolutely.
Anyone else in the audience this evening? No one? Okay, then I will go with council, and I'll start with Deborah.
First, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. I had a couple of things. We've been talking about a mission statement for the town, and I would like to recommend that we take the comprehensive plan and what's stated in there and come up with, oops, trying to find it. It's in the first few pages. Sorry. There. Right there. Page 2. It states that the mission of the town of Pittsfield is to provide a safe, healthy, attractive, and affordable community in which to live, learn, worship, and raise children, work, and play. And then there's more. And then tomorrow's Pittsfield will be a safe, healthy, clean, and friendly place in which to live, learn, worship, work, and play. So there's quite a bit in those 2 paragraphs that we could come up with a vision, and I suggest we do it, stop talking about it, and just do it. I don't know if we would have a workshop do you want to have a workshop to consider the verbiage for that, or?
So normally, I think we could do a discussion item, but we
Okay.
really want to, I think, emphasize the theater at the next meeting, so probably
Yeah,
the
no, I'm
meeting
talking
after
about
that.
the meeting,
Yeah, in
anything
May.
I'm talking about is for like May 7th.
Yeah.
So if that could go on to May 7th, I'd like to be able to say we know what our mission is. Also, I'd like to again ask that my proposal, especially in lieu of what Ron has said, my proposal to add 2 people from the community to each council committee, so that would make 5. These 2 positions on each council committee would be appointed. They would have to be people that understand what the committee is about. And if we're going to make the communications/media committee an actual council committee, I think we have no choice. There's only 7 of us. How many committees can we cover? So I would like to bring that. It was asked that the ordinance committee deal with that and come up with an ordinance, and that has not happened, so I request it happen for May 7th. Is that possible?
What do you think, councilors?
Yes.
You'll probably meet by then anyway.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
I know that that was scheduled for the communication committee, but it's an actual ordinance change that we need to make in order to change what's in the book.
Correct. That would be an ordinance change. the reason why I put it on the communications committee was because I thought that we should address it there first before deciding, and then have the council decide, because the question was raised at the one meeting.
And then we discussed it at the next meeting.
Right.
Quite in depth, actually.
No, we decided that the committee was gonna look at it and then make a recommendation. And so that's what we tried to do by looking at the structure of all the committees to see what the to look at the committees first and see what the committee structure was. And it's kind of hodgepodge all over the place. So to try and get that all kind of aligned first and then decide, do we need to add these extra seats to it. That was my impression, but again, our minutes don't always reflect the conversations that are had, so it's tough to go back. That was my impression from the meeting.
Right.
So, I can put it on the next ordinance committee.
Okay. I guess before it goes to the ordinance committee, then we need to decide. We've already had one discussion about it. Do we need to have another discussion to decide if we want to do this or not? And if so, that needs to go on the May 7th agenda. I'd like an answer to it's been a month and a half.
Well, we discussed it and we kind of narrowed it down to like the 3 or 4, right? And then, so where do we need to go from there to just kind of like actually make it concrete? Ordinance committee?
Yeah.
So.
Do you want me to write up some sample language? You can look it over and change it, if that would help.
Well, that's fine. We can deal with it in the ordinance committee. I was under the impression it was going to the media and communications to look at the structure of all the committees. That's why I hadn't put it on the last ordinance committee. I can put it on the ordinance committee meeting. That's not a problem.
Well, and that brings up another issue. The communications committee, I respectfully disagree with that committee, which is not a council committee, it's an ad hoc committee. I disagree with that committee discussing items that actually should be discussed by the council. How the committees work should be a group effort in figuring that out. So
I agree, and we've asked to have more people come to the committee meeting, and there's been resistance to actually having discussions within the council meetings because of the length of the meeting. So I saw it as a way for media and communications to deal with, communications not only within the greater community, but within the council and within the town government, to have that be the discussion place, and then bring proposals. Committees usually bring proposals to the full council to look at and then process and decide, yes, it should go to the ordinance committee, or yes, it should go to the planning board, or whatever.
Which brings me to my next subject, is that maybe we need to review all the committees and outline exactly what their responsibilities are, because technically right now, communications and media is an ad hoc committee that was created to look at the website and to improve that and to increase our visibility with the community. So anything other than that, I feel, is stepping beyond the scope of that committee.
Which is why I asked to have the council have a discussion in order to clarify the role of that committee. But that discussion should be here. Which I just asked for. Okay. I asked for that tonight.
So,
okay.
So what we've got, go ahead.
Why don't we put on the May agenda, if you want to discuss these at the council, we can discuss all the committees.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, is we look at all the committees.
Yeah, at once. Okay. But we would do this at the next meeting, but we want to concentrate on
the first May meeting, yeah. Everybody.
May 7th would be fine.
Okay. everybody in agreement with that?
So am I putting anything on the ordinance committee yet, or are we gonna have a discussion for the full council first about committees and then decide what to do with it?
Yeah.
I'm looking for clarification.
My suggestion would be to have the meeting first. That way
Okay.
everything's on the table, and then we can decide then
Okay.
what's gotta go there. That way the cat's not chasing the tail.
I just want to
Because
be
if
clear
we
because
decide-
I'm tired of setting up agendas and meetings on what I think is what's being asked of us and then being told no.
Well, this
So
way
I
it'll-
want to make sure that this is what we're doing.
This way it'll be perfectly clear what,
Okay, so I'm
what
taking that off.
direction. Okay, thank
And
you.
we'll discuss.
Thank you.
All right, no ordinance committee meeting for a while.
And the last thing is a question. I happened to notice that in one of the warrants that I signed, that we paid lawyers in March $74,000. And I'd kind of like an explanation as to why we spent that much money.
Okay, I'm sure that's not the figure, because that's a really huge figure. It's something smaller, but yes, the bill was large because when the town attorney comes to a meeting, and they came to several meetings here, that costs a lot of money.
But it wasn't that much.
No.
Can we get a clarification on what it was?
Yeah, I don't remember how much it was, but it was not that much, no.
Okay.
Nowhere near it.
It was close. It has to, because I signed it.
We'll get a clarification, find out
Yep.
what it is.
Was that one of the ones we signed tonight?
No.
It was last month
Yes.
for the March.
Yes.
Yeah, so the overall legal budget is $14,000.
And we haven't blown our legal budget this year yet.
No.
Okay, so it's
No,
not
but-
75.
So that's gotta be a
60.
wrong, that's gotta be a misprint or whatever.
Yeah,
We'll get a
so
clarification.
remember, you have a issue going on that requires arbitration down at the state. And so, you have that item. You had the attorney up here 3 times, so, this does cost money. That's why we never usually have.
Okay, because I was just confused because in that particular warrant, I totaled up and it came to that amount. And
So
it's
we'll
like,
pull that out and look at it. We'll make sure we don't file it away,
Maybe,
and then we
you
can
know.
look at that.
okay, that's fine. That's all I have.
Thank you, Deb. And Heather,
I'll go last if that's okay.
you sure? I
Yep.
don't wanna be rude now.
Nope.
Okay. Howard,
I have nothing this evening.
thank you. Caleb?
Boy, you're really jumping around.
I
here.
am.
Oh.
I've been, people have been getting after me about developing patterns here, so.
Heather's making me nervous with. She wants her last one.
Well, I was trying to finish
Oh.
my note.
Okay. Oh, boys. So, I think it's a really good idea, that first May meeting, to just go over, because I see where Heather's coming from. I do agree that there are some issues or some ideas that need to get finished, hacked out. And one of those ideas I'd love to throw on the next meeting in May is going over the schedule for the budget again. And how early are we going to start that? When are we going to start?
Oh, yeah,
because that.
July. I want to start in July.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I'm serious.
Yeah. Well,
I wanted to start in June, but
As long as
Catherine
it's
said
not
no.
June. I
Yeah.
think you could start.
But now we're talking about the second meeting in May, because it's going to be another potential
I know.
heated, well, not heated, but it's going to be.
There's a lot of
It's a
stuff to
discussion
discuss.
that deserves some pretty good time. So I feel like that should be on there. And we talked about some of the things that was on Heather's agenda. I really want to make sure we don't kick those down the road too far. But to cram them all into one meeting would not be fair either, because
Right.
yeah. So, but I agree with her frustration of, I think we need to. It's at that first meeting in May. We need to have that discussion, decide whether to take that, which I really hope that we do decide to turn that media and communication committee into a real committee, because I feel like that is an important one to have. And I mean, arguably, it's probably one of the committees that's done. I mean, I won't say
It's
like
the-
that, but I will
that
say that
committee's
committee
the
has
face
made
of
some
the
very important thing and changes to the town that's been great, that we really have liked. Like the website, and I mean, there's a lot of really good things that have happened from that. So I hope there's just some general confusion about there's just some general confusion about like what everything that is within that committee scope.
If
So
we
I
set
hope
a-
that first meeting we can iron that
Set
out.
a focus, it'll be clear.
Yep. So so it doesn't feel frustrating for you, because Heather, we love the work that you do there. I mean, and the changes that have been made.
It's the face of the community.
Yeah. So I really I hope that we can change it from ad hoc to a real, or something that has a lasting, instead of just a short-term purpose. And as far as the theater goes, I'm really excited to hear about what their presentations are going to be there. And I was talking with Deborah a little bit ago, and it doesn't. And I've thought about a bunch of times, it doesn't take very long to get kind of excited about the possibilities that could happen down there. And obviously we have a lot of limitations, because the like structure is like nothing to. It's in pretty poor shape, really. So I think that my statement is that I hope that the committee, when they're thinking about the things that the theater can do, maybe think of it as in like stages. So maybe there's one stage to kind of get us through this rough patch that maybe isn't going to be very pretty, because it just needs to get us through this rough patch. And then there's another stage after there's been some capital raised, and we can fix the structure, or change the structure to help fit the future of what we want here in town. I just hope that the theater committee doesn't just think that we need like a one-time solution, like given right at that meeting. Maybe it's in like stages, to get where we want to be. Because my vision is that hopefully we can come up with something that the theater is grander and bigger than it's ever been before. And it's not just a theater, maybe. Deborah has all kinds of. She's got all kinds of ideas, and we've heard some like that before.
The theater committee has a whole list
Oh,
of
yeah.
stuff already set up.
Yeah. So I mean, and it's just crazy. So I mean, I'm just speaking in support of that, because I really hope. But I know that you are limited by that structure. I mean, and it would be kind of. So, anyways, I'll stop.
Thank you, Caleb.
Yep.
I'll go with Matt.
Just to follow up with Caleb's discussion on the theater. I wish we could have discussed it tonight, because it would have been ideal as far as time-wise. But I look forward to see the proposals that we'll see. And I agree with what Caleb said, is it needs to be like a short-term, get us out of the mud, so to speak, of this crisis of the money deal for this year and maybe next year, but long-term goals definitely need to be thought about, what we're going to do with the structure and a vision for what that sort of section of town is going to be, I guess, whether it's a theater or whatever. I just wanted to apologize for missing last meeting. I had some last-minute things come up, and usually I try to call or email or something, and I didn't give anything. So usually that's not like me. So I just wanted to apologize to the council.
Shame on you.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. I thought I had missed something.
And just lastly, I just want to congratulate Chimbro for their new expansion. I see on the news, Pittsfield's home of a $1 billion company now, so that's pretty crazy, and wish them the best. That's it.
Okay, thank you. And Heather.
Okay, thank you. Going on those lines of the theater committee, I wanted to say, you guys are doing a lot of good work. There's a lot of positive energy around the theater now. There's a great little calendar in this week's newspaper that has a whole month of events lined out, and that's a really great strategy there. And it's good to see all that progress that you're making and the positivity that you guys are bringing to that. So I'm looking forward to the next meeting that we can dedicate a good chunk of time in order to address what they need and how we can be supporting that and their goals. Thank you, Ron, for the suggestion for the ordinance committee. And I think that's something that the council is going to talk about as far as the media communications committee, where that's going to fall. Catherine, you had mentioned that one of the tax acquired properties has paid up and they're in good standing now, or at least not 3 years in arrear, right?
Correct,
Okay.
yes, because it gets all paid out.
Right, so what's the status of the other ones? Are they all going to go to, has the time passed now that they're going to be advertised and put out for the
I was
tax
going to put that
sale?
on the next council agenda, but that may be quite a discussion, so we'll see if it goes next meeting or the meeting after. And there is one that there's a tie-up with the parties involved with that.
Okay.
But everything else would likely go.
Okay. So
And
we
then we'll re-advertise the wooden structure on Route 100 below the animal clinic that you can see through, which we still own because no one will bid on it, so we'll put that one on there too.
Okay, and that was my other question is, we have other tax acquired properties that are on the rolls that the town owns. That, do we make it a matter of course that every time we do a series of tax acquired property advertisements that we roll those back into it rather than holding on to those properties? I mean, the one that you just mentioned.
Yes, we always do. That's why I mentioned it.
Okay.
That one we've had for a couple of years.
And there's a landlocked piece out on Sibley Pond or something, and
that one people have wanted to keep for its aesthetic beauty, but we can look at that. I think it got converted over years before I got here. It was tax acquired, got converted over to town property, but we could look at that. We can look at town properties if you'd like.
Okay. Yeah, I think that we should look at those because I don't think that it's not in the town's best interest to be owning these properties when we could sell them and have them either developed for businesses or creating other income in form of taxes if people buy them and put buildings up on them. So I think that we should probably look at all of those pieces of property that the town owns at this point.
We can do that. We have a couple that we have 99-year leases with the state of Maine for $1. So those, they say they're the towns, but they're actually the states.
Right.
And so I can depict that, figured that out early on, so I can depict that too.
Okay. And along the other lines of properties, I noticed Jacques LaSalle's property finally sold. So it'll be interesting. I saw a U-Haul truck because I drove by. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. It's a pretty large piece of property there, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that.
Yeah, he's had several people looking at that lately, so that's good.
Where is it?
Jacques LaSalle's is just south on Route 100. It's a gray Gambrel. They have a big barn, big fields right after the storage units.
Across from Hancock Lumber.
Yes, across from the back entrance of the industrial park.
Yeah.
It's been for sale for a long time.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been for sale since we moved here.
It's huge.
So congratulations to him on selling that. And the other question I had was, you had mentioned that Peak had offers or people interested in 3 out of the 4 lots that are left in the industrial park. So when those are sold, what is the role of Peak? What role do they play as far as economic development within the town? And how would that committee be active if they're not transacting property sales on behalf of the town?
We've met with different businesses that have wanted confidentiality. Usually the larger projects, they were involved with Chimbro's solar project, and quite helpful. I will bring in the bylaws of Peak, and then you'll see its wide-ranging capacity for community development, economic development. If we wanted, let's say, we kept the theater, or we needed grants by a nonprofit, a 501c3 for something. Let's say it was for recycling. Peak can apply. We can put the application under that because they're put together by the town of Pittsfield and the directors are appointed by the town. So it's our 501c3 entity.
And is there anything in the bylaws about how those appointments are made and how long they can serve or anything like that?
It indicates the town council would choose people, with background that would be relevant, but the terms are not held to like a 1, 2, or 3 year period.
They're just an indefinite appointment until the person decides they don't want to serve.
We can actually appoint more people. We have more than we had in the past. And I don't like to say, I don't think I'm actually a member, well, I had to be a member of Peak, although I didn't want to be on anything, but they needed a treasurer, and it's just easier if the town treasurer is the Peak treasurer because of the transfer of monies and everything. But normally I would just go and help a board or committee. In this case, I had to be a director to do the treasury work.
Okay. So do we want to add that to the next meeting? No, just kidding.
The agenda is getting longer.
I know.
We'll push it out again.
And I think that was my last comment, was that part of my frustration with trying to get we talk about things a lot and then nothing happens with them. And so that was part of my frustration with actually putting some of the items that we as a council had talked about on the agenda to kind of start moving things along a little bit. And then my frustration was then still nothing happened because I had to take them off the agenda because either counselors or the town manager objected to that. And so that's a big source of frustration for me right now, is that, we have a lot of good ideas that are brought up in the meetings, and then they just kind of get said and they get put off to the side and then they don't get followed through on. So I'm really looking forward to our discussion about the theater next meeting, to be very focused and really provide them some support, as well as really focusing on our committees and getting the committees to be more active, especially kind of reactivating our, I can't remember what it's called, the community, where'd it go? Community Development Advisory Committee and the Economic Development Committee team. I think that those are two committees that there are people in town that would be really interested in helping on, and could certainly focus some of the energies for developing in town in that way. And I think that we should give people as many opportunities as possible in order to help push the town in the direction that they want it to go in, and two of those committees would be one way to do it.
So the Economic Development Team is actually the Community Development Advisory Group, because when we have a CDGB grant, we always ask if people would like to help out with that. And we are anxiously awaiting the survey information, because the state has actually said that the survey will start hopefully on April 15th. And then we'll activate the group. Once we get going and we make sure they're doing it, because the worst thing to do is start up a group and then you have to wait.
Well, so are those ad hoc committees, or is it one and the same? I'm confused.
So this is two different committees that are codified in the town code with purpose and it's pretty directed as far as what they do. So I think that, and the other thing too is that, if these are the rules that we are going to be operating by, then we either need to be operating by them, or if we're more comfortable with how we're operating now, we need to change the rules to reflect that. Just because there's a lot of things that don't match up with what we're doing and what's in here versus what's in here and what we're actually doing. And so those are things that I think that kind of like along the vision thing, we need to kind of match up, where we are. Like our town plan, comprehensive plan was written many, many years ago. A lot has changed since then. And so we really need to kind of look at where we are now and make adjustments where necessary, I think.
So the comprehensive plan was written in 2013. After being on the books, I think, since 1997, and then the one prior to that was 1970.
Correct.
And of course, that was such a tiny one. The 1997 one was just a wonderful plan. And then
I have that one.
So do I.
That was an amazing plan. And then the update, which was the 2013, took the 1997 one and went through all that, contacting all of the entities to have them rewrite their sections, and I know a lot about this because the sections that weren't rewritten by others I had to write. And so the comprehensive plan is going to be reviewed briefly by the planning board, and we've asked KV Cog, specifically Joel Greenwood, to go through the plan to give the planning board some advice, and then the planning board will go through the plan, and the council can go through the plan too and see what you want to update, and then we'll see, what the state process is for that, because if we change one word, we need approval of the state of Maine. So we'll see just how much we want to do. So it's a good plan. It just may need some updates in sections.
So if we change one word, we have to have the permission. But if we leave it and come up and say, this is our comprehensive plan, and then we have a manual, we'll say, of how we're going to meet the objectives we don't have to
if you did
involve the state.
If you did a separate book, we did this too. We did a separate implementation book, and that did not have to be approved by the state. So you're quite correct.
Okay.
I forgot about that little book.
That would make things a lot easier if we don't have to get the state involved.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the process would be now. It's changed. The last approval was actually very good. It only took a month. I don't know if